I studied over 1,000 runners over the age of 50. I looked at what separated the runners who kept getting faster from the ones who just kept getting slower. And I found something surprising. It wasn't injuries, it wasn't genetics, it wasn't even how much they trained. But there was one consistent thing that kept showing up in the runners who struggled to improve. And I'm going to show you exactly what this is. I'm also going to show you how to fix it so you can start running faster, more efficiently, and with less stress, no matter your age. My name is Lindsay Parry, and over the last 20 years, I have worked with thousands of runners over 50. And from all the data, one thing kept showing up over and over again. And it's not what most people think. It's a pattern made up of small daily decisions that slowly eats away at your performance. It's the buildup of these choices over weeks and months that silently destroys speed. And honestly, it's a mindset issue. It's the belief that harder is always better. And while that may have worked in your 30s, it's the exact opposite of what your body needs now. That mindset, if left unchecked, is what wrecks your recovery, ruins your aerobic development, and eventually your speed. Let's start with something no one talks about enough and why it's such a game changer for runners over 50. It's where fitness gains actually happen. Recovery. You don't get faster from the workout, you get faster from the adaptation after the workout. And as we age, our recovery window gets longer. That's not a limitation, it's just a fact. So if you're training too hard and skipping recovery, you're digging a hole. You might feel fine at first, but performance quietly flattens or declines. Fatigue accumulates, injuries pop up, and eventually your speed tanks, no matter how hard you're working. And now for the thing that every runner thinks they can skip: rest days. And it's a huge mistake. Rest is not optional, it's part of your training. Rest is what allows your body to absorb the work and come back stronger. What would I say to someone who says, "But I feel fine, I don't need a day off"? Feeling fine doesn't mean you're fully recovered. Sometimes the signs of under-recovery are subtle: disturbed sleep, higher resting heart rate, sluggish legs, irritability. Ignore that long enough and it'll show up as slower splits, or injury, or illness. So let's get into another trap. And this one's huge: running too hard on easy days. Most runners think they're running easy, but they're not. They're stuck in a moderate effort, a zone that's too hard to recover from, so their systems never really adapt. And how do we fix that? We need to know your actual aerobic training zone, and most people don't. They guess, or worse, use generic age-based charts. That's why we built our free zone calculator. You run a short test, plug in the numbers, and it tells you your ideal aerobic zone based on your physiology. It takes out the guesswork. And training in that zone, that's what builds your base. Running in your zone helps you become more efficient, it improves your substrate utilization, it helps you recover faster, and eventually run faster at lower effort. But you can't get there if you run every run too hard. Let's talk about one of the most self-destructive habits runners fall into. We pick a pace, maybe based on what we used to run or what someone else runs, and we try to force our body to match it, no matter the conditions. So instead of listening to your body, you're trying to hit a number. But pace is a result, it's not a goal. If your body's not ready, forcing pace leads to overtraining, poor form, and under-recovery. It's like trying to lift a heavier weight every day. Eventually your system breaks down. So, what should people focus on instead? Effort, heart rate, recovery. Train in the right zones, build your base, and the pace will come. Naturally, sustainably, and without the crash. But when you chase pace first, you end up slower in the long run. That's why we created a free zone calculator. No more guessing. No more generic formulas based on age. Just your actual data, turned into real usable zones that will help you recover better, train smarter, and get faster over time. All right. So now you're probably thinking, this is great, Lindsay, but what's actually wrecking runners' speed over 50? It's not age, it's training too hard, too often, it's skipping recovery, it's refusing to rest, it's chasing paces that your body isn't ready for. All of those things, driven by mindset, create fatigue, inconsistency, and injury. But when you shift that mindset, you unlock progress again. That's how you get faster after 50. If you've been feeling stuck, tired, or slower despite all the effort you're putting in, this is your wake-up call. We've created a full deep dive video that walks you through everything runners over 50 need to know. Training structure, pacing, strength, mobility, recovery, and how to actually build sustainable speed. It's helped thousands of runners just like you shift their approach and see real, lasting results. Click on the video on screen now if you're ready to stop wrecking your speed and start rebuilding it the right way. This is where it starts.